Kia ora team, my name is Callum and welcome back to Hack Magic. Today we're going through our next step in Mission Magician. Great name, Callum, great name. And this time we're talking about what is the best way to get practice. Now in the last episode I kind of loosely threw out that you should do your tricks to family and friends, and that's what most advice will tell you. But what I want to do with this video is actually give you an idea of your stepwise progression. Because the truth of it is that you go through different practice at different times, depending on where you are with learning a trick, as well as where you are with learning how to do magic in general. So what we're going to do is look at this through essentially 4 different steps, moving away from yourself. Which means step 1 is practicing by yourself. Now a lot of the ways that you'll get told to do this is by use of a mirror, because that allows you to see what the audience is going to see. You can do all of your shifty work and all that kind of stuff from different angles and see what it's going to look like. The problem with this, especially when you're starting to learn new magic, is that sometimes you actually want to be watching what you do, not what you do. Some magic is hard to do looking at something else while you're supposed to be doing something else. So our next step up would be to use a video camera. Now, it doesn't need to be complicated, it can just be with a phone or a webcam or whatever. And the beautiful thing is that you can play to the camera like they are a spectator and you can just forget about it. What that allows you to do is go back and re-watch the footage over and over and over again and sort of nitpick out any weak points. The other pro to this is that you can do your presentation exactly the way you would for a real person and watch that back. It's really hard to do that when you're performing to a mirror. And saying that, mirrors are still good, it's just courses for horses, one situation over another. So the next step out from yourself is performing for your family and your friends, and I would do it in that order. Now in many ways, performing for your family and your friends is actually the most difficult of all. And the reason why is because they know you don't have magical powers. They know there's going to be some kind of trick and they're going to be looking for it. Now when you're learning, that's actually really good because it means that you have to be on top of your game. It also means that you can ask the awkward questions like, when I did this thing, did you see me do this? That kind of thing you can't ask spectators in the real world, and it's invaluable. So yes, when you do magic for your family and friends, they're going to give you crap, they're going to want to shuffle the cards in an awkward way, but at the end of the day, you become better for it. Now once you pass the family and friends test, the next thing to do is perform for people who aren't your family and friends. Now this could come in the form of parties, school, university, or wherever you happen to be, or just random people. There are better ways to do this than others, so I'll share a few with you. Everyone who's inspired to learn magic from the likes of Chris Angel, David Blaine, Dynamo, think that what they have to do is walk up to a random person on the street and say, hey, I'd like to show you something. Your mileage for this will vary, and the reason why is because people like David Blaine, Chris Angel, Dynamo, whoever, they're rocking up to somebody with a full-blown team of people very clearly working on a project. I follow the same thing in any of my street magic videos. I turn up with a videographer with a fantastic camera and we present a professional front. People know exactly what they're in for and we're justified in our approach. Just rocking up to some random person and saying, hey, I'm a street magician, do you want to see something? It can kind of catch people off guard a little bit more. It's that little bit more weird. Now that's okay. I 100% went through that phase and I feel like everybody kinda has to in a sense if you're gonna do that street close-up magic. I'm not gonna pretend that it wasn't really good practice for just approaching people. So if you're okay just walking up to a random person and saying, hey, you wanna see something cool, then totally go for it. Do it, I don't think that you'll regret it. In saying that, there's another couple of ways you can go about this. For example, if you're just waiting at a bus stop and you happen to be sitting next to somebody, that's a really good time to ask. You're just sitting there, they are just sitting there, what else are they gonna do? Like look at their phone? That kind of time is the perfect opportunity to say to somebody, hey look, this is really boring. Would you like to see something cool? That way you're justified in your approach and it doesn't seem too weird. And I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, oh, but what if they say no? And if that happens, you just say, okay, no worries. And they just miss out on seeing something super awesome. Did you see that bee go past just now? Another thing you can do, which is a real favorite of mine, is actually just say nothing. On several occasions, and even when I'm being paid to do magic, I'll often just approach with a deck of cards and do this. People kind of instinctively know what that is and what you're asking them to do, and they'll either go, oh no, I'm okay, or they'll take one. At that point, it's just a really good opportunity to introduce yourself and explain who you are and what you're doing. In many ways, that has become my favorite because it's just seamless. And our fourth and final way to get practice is to get what is known as a residency. Now this is further on down the line when you have quite a few tricks up your sleeve. And a residency is where you get some kind of venue, whether it's a restaurant or a bar, whatever's appropriate for your age, and this is where you perform magic, whether it's once a week, once a fortnight, and it's your job to move around different groups of people or different tables and perform magic for them. I do this in an Italian restaurant called La Porchetta every week, Tuesday 6 until 8 p.m. And I can tell you without a shadow of a doubt that getting a residency there was the most valuable thing that I have done in terms of practice. I've worked with La Porchetta for about 4 years now, and I talked about it in a video, which you can see up here. Now there's some really good reasons as to why a restaurant or a bar might actually want to book a magician. One good reason is that it helps to draw in new customers. Depending on where you live, it's a pretty novel thing. And I've had people come to La Porchetta purely because they knew there was a magician there. The second reason that a restaurant might want to book a magician is that it helps to kill the wait time between customers ordering their food and their food arriving. Depending on how busy a night it is, it could actually be anywhere between 15 to 20 minutes from ordering to getting food, and that can feel like a really long time. Having a magician come through and offer entertainment during that period can help people feel like the time goes much faster, therefore that the food came out quicker, and more likely then to come back again. We will talk more about residencies and how to get one in a later video. And there you have it, team. That is the 4 levels of practice that you need to go through. Practice by yourself with a mirror and a video camera. Practice performing for family and friends. Practice performing for random people. And finally, practice at a residency. These are the 4 levels that will help you take your game from here to here. And that's it for this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure you like it and subscribe for more. Let me know down in the comments how this advice works out for you. And until the next one, keep good.